October 13th, 1307. They arrested hundreds, tortured them, and burned their leader alive. Their crime? Being too rich. Way richer than the king. They invented credit cards. Your entire banking system. But when the king couldn't pay, he chose murder over bankruptcy. Friday the 13th wasn't superstition. It was history's first financial murder. And your government still uses the same playbook. Don't trust the vault, own the keys. Welcome to the Usury Code, the channel that talks about money the way nobody else will. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and start decoding the system. Welcome to the Usury Code.
Okay, real talk. What I'm about to tell you is gonna blow your mind. And I mean that. This isn't clickbait. This actually happened. It's October 13th, 1307. Super early in the morning, like 5 a.m. Paris is still dark. Most people are asleep. But right now, all over France, thousands of soldiers are quietly moving through the streets. They've got these sealed letters, orders they weren't even allowed to look at until the night before. And at sunrise, it's game over. They're breaking down doors, storming into fortresses, dragging guys, some of the richest, most powerful guys in Europe, straight out of their beds in chains. Hundreds arrested by lunchtime. By the end of the month, they're getting tortured. We're talking medieval torture, the rack, the whole 9 yards. And 7 years later, their boss gets tied to a post and burned alive while he's literally cursing the king as he dies. So what did they do? Murder somebody? Start a war? Commit treason? Nah. Their actual crime was being too rich, way richer than the king. And their fatal mistake? Loaning money to a king who was never planning to pay them back. This is the Knights Templar story. The guys who basically invented credit cards, wire transfers, the whole modern banking thing. And this is how a broke king figured out it's way easier to just kill your banker than pay what you owe. But here's the thing, and this is why you need to care. Governments still do this exact same thing. 1933, 2008, 2013. Every time the money runs out, they dust off this same playbook. Let me break it down. All right, let's go back to 1119. Jerusalem. Picture yourself living in medieval times. You decide you're going to make this religious journey to Jerusalem. Huge deal back then. So you sell everything. Your house, your farm, whatever you've got. You turn it all into gold coins because that's the only way money existed. Now here's the problem. You got to walk from Europe to the Middle East, carrying all that gold, through bandit territory where thieves are literally waiting to rob and murder travelers. It's like walking through the worst neighborhood in America, wearing a Rolex and carrying a briefcase full of cash. You're basically asking for it. Thousands of people died on these roads, just didn't make it. Bodies everywhere, stripped of everything valuable. So these 9 guys, the Knights Templar, show up and say they're gonna protect pilgrims. Nice gesture, right? Except they pretty quickly realize something. Protecting people for free is charity, but protecting their money, that's a business. Around 1150, they come up with this brilliant system. You walk into their building in London, hand over your gold, let's say 1,000 silver pieces. They count it, write it down, and give you this piece of paper. But it's not regular paper. It's got codes and symbols on it that only they can read. You travel to Jerusalem broke. Nothing on you. Bandits rob you. Whatever. There's nothing to take. You get to Jerusalem, walk into their office there, show them the paper, and bam, they give you your money. You see what just happened? In the year 1150, they invented wire transfers, checks, ATM withdrawals, international banking. It's literally the same system your bank uses right now, just with computers instead of paper. But here's where it gets wild. All that gold sitting in their London vault, it's just sitting there for months, because you deposit in January, but don't withdraw until you reach Jerusalem in June. So they had this light bulb moment. What if we just lend this out while we're holding it? Kings need war money immediately. Nobles need loans for castles. The church needs crusade funding. And the Templars have vaults overflowing with gold, just collecting dust. Only one problem. The church said charging interest was a sin. Usury. You could go to hell for it. So the Templars got creative. They didn't call it interest, they called it rent. We're not charging you interest on this loan. We're just renting you our gold. Totally different. It's the same word games banks use today, with service fees and convenience charges, and boom. 9 broke monks just became the richest organization in the world. Let me throw some numbers at you, because this is where things get dangerous. By 1300, just their properties in England were making about £4,500 a year. Now that might not sound crazy, until I tell you the King of England was only making about £4,000. A charity was out-earning the freaking king. They owned 9,000 properties all over Europe. Biggest landowner in England, bigger than any duke, any nobleman. They're exporting wool, dairy, wine, horses. They've got shipping fleets doing international trade. In 1191, King Richard needed cash for a crusade. The Templars just casually bought Cyprus, the entire island, dropped 40,000 gold pieces like it was nothing. Who just has buy an island money laying around? But the craziest part, and this is what made them untouchable, the King of France kept the national treasury in their building in Paris. What happens next is one of the most cold-blooded moves in history. Philip can't just say, "I'm broke, not paying." That would destroy his credibility everywhere. He needs a reason, a good reason, something that makes people want the Templars gone. So he makes stuff up. September 13th, 17, he sends sealed letters to every military commander in France. Instructions: don't open until October 12th at midnight. When you do, move immediately. Dawn breaks October 13th. Friday. Templar fortresses get hit everywhere at once. These are Crusader veterans, some of the best fighters alive, but they're caught sleeping, arrested before they can even grab their swords. The charges are absolutely nuts. Worshipping some demon head called Baphomet, spitting on crosses, denying Jesus' weird sexual rituals. Total insanity. Medieval QAnon. The Pope initially calls BS. He's like, "Philip, come on. You're obviously just trying to steal their money." So Philip says, "You need proof?" Here's signed confessions from Templars themselves. Yeah, confessions he got through torture. They're breaking guys on the rack until their shoulders pop out, burning feet till the bones show. After that kind of pain, you'll confess to anything just to make it stop. So the Templars confessed to devil worship, to stuff that never happened. With those confessions, Philip had his cover story. 1312, Pope officially shuts down the Templars. Their money's supposed to go to another group, but Philip makes sure most of it ends up in his treasury through fees. Final act, March 18th, 1314. Jacques de Molay, the Grand Master, their top guy, gets tied to a stake on an island in Paris, right by Notre Dame. They light him on fire. Legend says, while he's burning alive, he screams, "Pope Clement, King Philip, see you before God in a year." Pope dies a month later. Philip dies in November, both within the year. Spooky? Maybe, but the real curse is the lesson. When governments go broke, your rights disappear. Your creditors become your victims.
So why does this 700-year-old story matter? Because they never stopped using this playbook. They just changed the words. 1933, FDR made owning gold illegal. Government forced everyone to sell at $20.67 per ounce, then immediately revalued it to $35. Instant 70% government profit. Legal theft. 2008, banks gambled, lost everything, and got bailouts instead of going bankrupt. Too big to fail. Sound familiar? 2013, Cyprus banks collapsed. Government's fix reached into people's accounts and took up to 47.5% of their savings. Called it a bail-in. The Templars invented swift transfers. They created fractional reserve banking. They pioneered credit systems, but they learned the hard way. When you're the creditor to power, you're either stronger than them or you're the target. Your bank account right now, just numbers on a screen. The government can change whenever. Your property, only yours until they decide they need it for emergency measures. The Templars trusted the system, thought their contracts were secret, believed they were protected. They were dead wrong.